My name is Barbie Winterbottom, and that is my legal name. It's not a nickname. And I get asked that every day. So I always like to clarify that up front. I am the founder and CEO of the business of HR. Formerly, I was a CHRO, Chief People Officer, and have worked in the people space for my entire career. And I have a passion for helping others, organizations, HR professionals, really transform the way in which we execute the work we do so that we are business leaders who work in the people space. And it's so important that we understand that, because with the evolution of change and how rapid things are changing, we have to stay ahead of that and really align ourselves with the function and the outcomes our businesses are seeking, and also think and understand the way in which our business leaders think so that we provide the necessary support and take ownership of the pieces of the work that we own. I don't know that you can specifically define an ideal work culture, because every organization is different and the people who make up that organization are different. And just like we can't stereotype people by race, we can't necessarily stereotype ideal, because it is going to be different for each person. I would say from a high level, an ideal culture is one where people feel seen, heard, valued, and understood. And that can manifest itself in very different ways. But ultimately, that's what people want, right? They want to be seen. They want to feel as though they're recognized and accepted and celebrated for who they are. They want to be heard. They want their voices to matter. They want their ideas to be welcomed and accepted and supported. They want to feel a sense of belonging, like it was intentional, that they were, recruited, and that we have space and we are creating space for you. You belong here, and we're not trying to force you to be someone you're not. And then an understanding of the value you bring, an understanding of what my role is and how it connects to the overall purpose of the organization. So I think in any company, when we think about ideal culture, if we can do that for people, then we will have hit the target. Versus talking about a culture where, well, we have to do, so many employee lunches and we have to do these elements. Those things are secondary. Right? Team building, offsite engagements, training, learning, development, all of those things are very important. But at the end of the day, it takes different triggers and levers to pull to help people feel different ways. And so it is not a silver bullet. It's not a one size fits all. We really have to be creative and think innovatively in order to bring forward a program or an infrastructure that allows your people to feel seen, heard, valued, and understood. So there is no one size fits all answer for that one. I think we have to start recognizing that employees are people. They are whole beings. They are not a one-dimensional flat entity of employee. And oftentimes once we hire someone, we no longer see them as this multidimensional person. We see them as the employee. And we strip the humanity out of our perspective of that individual. So to see people fully as who they are. And one element of that is that we are consumers. We are sophisticated consumers. We manage most of our lives through a phone, right? Every person watching this at some point in time, we buy groceries on our phones. We do everything through this little computer that we call a phone. And so we want that same consumer-like, intuitive, seamless experience. So one benefit like this is a product I endorse and share with people all the time. It's called Daily Pay. Daily Pay is free to employers. And what it does is it allows employees to access any earned but unpaid wages at any time through an app on their phone. And a lot of times we think, well, why does this matter? Why would we care? Well, imagine as an employee, you've worked 3 or 4 days of the pay cycle and you have an event, a flat tire, your child is sick and needs an expensive medication, and you don't have the money for it, because we know, at least in the US, the average American has less than $400 in savings. So if you have some big thing happen, you need a way to pay for it. And maybe you don't have access to credit. Maybe you don't have the money in your account. Well, through Daily Pay, you can access what you've earned and immediately get that money deposited into your account for whatever you might need. And you're not paying interest on the money. It's not a loan, it's your money. That's a great question. I think one often overlooked area that characterizes a great culture and a great organization is a really robust and highly functioning talent acquisition process and team, where we are completely aligned with the core values and culture of the organization, that we have a thoroughly thought through D&I strategy that is end-to-end for the employee, which starts with just our basic recruitment marketing from an attraction perspective, but then stays with the employee for their entire life cycle and their entire journey. So to have some of those foundational elements of D&I baked into your TA process, having fundamental understanding of the ideal talent to bring into the company, is a huge part of a well-oiled engagement strategy for a company, because that is the gatekeeper in a way, right? Those are the people who are bringing new talent into the organization. So if you're on the growth side of your curve there, making sure you're investing in your talent acquisition strategy, team, and infrastructure is huge. I cannot overstate how important that is. I see, as a consultant now, I see a lot of organizations where I work and where I'm supporting them, that we want the best talent, we want diverse talent, we want them hired quickly, we want all of these things, and yet the organization doesn't invest in the best tools, the best recruitment marketing, paying recruiters what they should be paid for the work they're doing. They don't have ownership of truly recommending the right talent. So there's so many parts of this that I see that are disconnected from really driving a healthy culture. So one element would be a very robust and invested in talent acquisition function. Another is that you have an executive team and a C-suite, or anyone VP and up, whatever, however you define executive at your company, that is absolutely walking the walk of your company values and behavioral competencies. Another disconnect I see when I'm working on transformation with organizations that maybe don't have a healthy culture and they're trying to get there. The number one reason is because we have executives behaving in a way that does not align with what the company says is their culture and their belief system. And so when employees see that, they're going to lose trust, because how do they know what to believe? Because here's these words on the wall, or here's what you told me in orientation, here's why you said you selected me. But this isn't how it's playing out now that I'm here. And I see these people treating one another poorly. I don't see people taking ownership for the work they're doing. Everybody's passing the buck and blaming each other. So a healthy culture is also driven by the executive team truly living the values and the competencies. And I think in tandem with that, the third piece would be operationalizing your values and your behavioral competencies. They have to be more than just words on the wall or words we talk about at orientation. We have to build these values into our performance competencies, how we select people, how we manage performance, how we identify top performers, how we grow our talent, has to be aligned to those fundamental core values we say we espouse as an organization. And truly 99% of the time when I'm brought into a company to help transform culture or transform the HR team or the TA team or the leadership team, it's because the executive and the leadership folks are out of alignment from the values they espouse as important to them. And so employees are left very confused. And once they see the executives not living what they say is important, they're never going to do it, because they truly do what we don't think people pay attention. They pay attention a lot. So those would be the three things: a robust talent acquisition strategy. That's hard to say. Operationalized values and competencies, and an executive and leadership team that walks the walk and truly leans into those values and holds one another accountable and holds themselves accountable to truly owning those values and living them every day.